Another wonderful day, another fine day, and we'll get together and have conversations. Now, I'm excited. I'm extremely excited because nothing no fun like when you meet a brother, when you see a brother from a distance, and you look at what they're doing, and you're like, wow. And then they're not just investing time, investing money, investing resources. You see them consistent. You see them trying to replicate themselves in so many other persons. I wouldn't even use the word replicate themselves in other persons, but you just see somebody who is so passionate about what they're doing, so passionate about building our community, so passionate about seeing the world becomes a better place. And you don't even need to talk to them, but just looking at what they're doing, looking at everything they're pushing out there, you see the roadmap. I need to start from here, and if I empower these people I've empowered are going to empower this group of persons in this community. And guess what? And that's how it's going to go bigger and bigger and bigger. And before you know it, it's the world that has been impacted. And that is what we see all the time. America is doing whatever they're doing in their corner. Japan is doing whatever they're doing in their corner. Australia is doing, Africa, Cameroon. We have to be doing something also. So we all as a world, we're going to meet at a particular place. And that is how this whole mindset of, oh no, what are you bringing to the table? It's not going to be the end. You guys know when I'm excited, I start talking too much. That is because I'm happy to have him. That's because I'm happy to sit with him. My brother, welcome to Toride.
Thank you so much. And it's just, I can't believe I'm here. I've watched you so long, and great job.
We try. Now, this is Toride. The language can be English, the language can be French, the language can be Pidgin.
Yeah, I like
if
Pidgin.
You feel like I want to a small country talk, if you add, make sure that they understand.
Oh, okay, no, I don't know that one fine, but
okay,
Pidgin, boy.
Okay, yeah. Again, thank you very much, first of all, for everything you're doing for the community. Yeah. It's rare. People like you are rare, and when I see people like you, I'm excited. Yeah. Especially because I want to know how I'm going to contribute. I want to know how I can help you. I want to know how I can support you build that dream, build that wonderful thing you're building. Mono Roche, we'll start from beginning. Sure. Tell us a little bit about you, your names, where you're from, and what you do.
So my name is Hilaire Aben, Hillary in the US, translation. I am the founder and CEO of CAASITECH Group. CAASITECH Group is a crazy dream. I started in College Station, Texas, where I went to school in Texas A&M. And then now, as of 2018, I went back to Cameroon, and we started now we have an African division in multiple countries, and then we're in the Middle East, but originally came from the US.
Wow. So you're from Mama Africa, and then at one point in time, you traveled to the US. What were your reasons?
For schooling, I went to Bishogan. I had this passion about computer in an early time, like Form 3. Remember in Form 3 going to Limbe in 1997. And I saw this MS-DOS. That's what I was learning at the time, and I got really excited. I went on a trip to support my brother, and my mother says, hey, you are just sitting at home. All you do is Mass 7. Follow him to Limbe. We went to Limbe, and this guy was talking about MS-DOS, computer directories, and my brother never really attended the class. I got stalked, loved it. I was very brilliant in school. You know those kids, like I had 11 papers, 10A, 1Bs, those 5 papers. So it was easy for me to grab stuff. But when I learned that stuff, I think my world changed from then. And all the things that I was doing in the seminary, I tried to put into tech.
Now, I remember when we were growing up, the things that were common, or the things that everybody wanted to do, was we wanted to play soccer, we wanted to play football. A few guys thought they were going to become Manu Dibango. They wanted to sing music like Petit Pays. What was that thing about the computer that actually captivated, that made you feel like, hey, I feel like I want to invest more time in this?
Actually, let me take you a look back. When I was growing up, I knew I wanted to become a priest. So my father is a farmer, a teacher, a Catholic school teacher in Moyoka, and in other places, Kona. He always used to tell me that the greatest value, the greatest purpose in life is to serve others. From the age of 5, I was reading, I started reading a lot of books. But even now, my father has passed away. I still read his diaries. You see that consistency in his action. He will always go to places and start prayer groups, St. Jude Thaddeus. So one time I was in class 7, because it was time for us to either go to GBHS. My mother is in technical education. So it's like Ombe, Sofati. I said, where can I go? How do I become somebody that can serve others? He said it clandestinely. He did not know why I was asking the question. No, priest, become a priest. So that thing stuck in my head.
Yeah.
For me to serve people, I need to become a priest. So my whole childhood, I wanted to become a priest. I was in the church. And again, so computer came in from 3. Like I said, my mother she's technical, right? My parents are both teachers, so they're so great. So she wanted my brother that is in CAASITECH to go learn this computer thing, because when you go to CAASITECH, people think you're going to become a secretary. But this younger brother, which is me, I'm the last child, he just said, what would this one be doing in the house? Follow him. But my brother loves soccer. He's the one that went to Brazil schools and stuff.
Yeah.
So he was never in class. He would say, she don't for day. You know, whatever they say, come and tell me what they have said. That's how I got into computer. While he's playing, I have to sit and listen to that guy. And that is how this guy, I got into MS-DOS, Microsoft 95 Word, all those type of things. And so that is, you asked me what I wanted to become. I went back. I was in the seminary because I want to serve people. And so, you know, we'll talk about the entrepreneurial side of things, but when in Bishogan, in Upper Seat, you go to a retreat where you don't speak for like 3 days, you walk, trek to Bojongo, and you're quiet. When I went to that retreat, you're supposed to decide whether you're going to the major seminary to become a priest. And I came, and my spiritual director is Father Basil. And I said, these things I learned, this thing in Form 3, I've become the audiovisual prefect, I've become the social prefect. I was opening emails for people in Bongo Square for 500 francs, so he's the entrepreneur. And he said, you know, you can always serve people with the gift that God has given you. You don't have to do it as a priest. That was the first time since from class 7 that I realized that I can be of service without being a priest. And for Basil, you know, when you're in Upper Sea, you start seeing that the church and science at the time is a very traditional place. It's not now that they are using computers there, but so I knew that I had to go pursue this thing that has just entered me. It was kind of what I was in Bishogan, a vocation. So yes, I still feel like I'm in a vocation that God called me for, but not just as a priest, but to take this tech thing, you know, globally. And, you know, always representing my people. I'm a very staunch Pan-Africanist, so let's talk about that some other time.
Wow. Now, I like this whole thing, especially because you actually got interested when tech was not even huge around the world, talk less of Africa. But you found passion. And so besides you going to that class that day, what were some of the other things you were doing from time to time to kind of like deepen your tech knowledge? Oh,
wow. This is interesting. I have to give credit to Father Jervis, Father Basil, my formators in the seminary. When I came back from that third-term holiday, you know, I remember they made me in charge of everything electronic. You know, and I'll talk about the identity box of business that I created, but I saw myself making more money in Bishogan. It's a boarding school, and they give us outings. So there's up there is Bongo Square. I used to, all those kids from Yaoundé and Douala, I would take them to Bongo Square and open an email in Yahoo and 500 francs. When I came back, everything about technology, upper C student, lower C student, I was one of the first social prefects from Form 4 in the history of Bishogan, just because of my savvy to manipulate. And then the school, some priest in Holland gave us 2 computers. So I was the only one again so I think that they saw that talent and they nurtured it. And even up to today, I'm still close to them. Father Jervis is kind of, since I've been to Cameroon, we'll talk about support, but he's still there in my life, but they did nurture that. So it could have died. It could have died. That's the message I'm saying. And in tech, we call this incubation. But yes, I was well incubated in a seminary of all places. That skill was honed and supported by these people. So I did a lot there, and you know, I think I left a little bit of that legacy there, and I'm still trying to do it today.
Now, one thing that is common, or one thing that is prevalent in our community, especially us, where we come from, I don't want to mention names, is the fact that you can want to do something, you can want to become the next Roger Mila, but your parents will be like, just not try. You can want to become the next, something that you, maybe as a kid, you have seen something, and you know, like, okay, maybe this is what I really want to pursue. Your parents will be, no, your dad was a teacher, I am a teacher. That is the easy way. I know some friends who are already in the ministry and this and that. I just want you to focus on your English and your whatever, and you become an English teacher somewhere. So how did they receive this? You coming with this whole new thing. Now it probably was not too new to mom,
Yeah.
but then a kid say, no, this is the route I want to go. How did they receive it?
Oh no, my mom is incredible. My parents are just, I don't know. I got lucky because now that I'm forming young people, I see a lot of resistance. So let me give you a small story about my dad. My brother is very physical. If you see black, he still goes to the gym today. My father has all these farms in Owe, in places. He has a lot of land, like almost 16 acres. So one time we enter Iron Horse, you know Iron Horse,
Yeah,
bicycle, we go to the farm. And I'll tell you this story because it's so significant. And while we're at the farm, you know, people were like, there's a place where they dry the cocoa. So it was so nice. They have put a shade. I went and said I was reading this book, Oliver Twist. So when my brothers, they have gone and walked, they come back and say, Aben, we've been looking for you the whole 5 years. Yeah, just enjoying life. How did you become lazy? So, and I saw my father just came to my defense and said, in life, everybody works hard. There are some people that use their brain. Some people use their hand. You don't understand what you just asked me. I've never said this out. But you see, my father told me, you can work hard with your brain. You can work hard physically. Some people are blessed, they do both.
Yeah.
But I think I've taken that. And my father has always created room. And my mother, when she came back from her studies, she studied abroad and came back. All of them have no children. My father passed away, so my mother took the baton. So I think incredible parents is the reason I'm here. And it's just something I don't want to take for granted. But that defense gave me so much confidence on using my brain power. Anytime I walk in a room, whether it is a president there, I don't feel intimidated. I just say, I have my brain. I'll work this out. That's just how I've been.
And you know that is the one thing that we Africans we did not know. We think working hard is the only way.
Exactly.
And so we are always pushing. Okay, what are the difficult things we can do? Broke firewood, carry stuff for head, and all that. No. On the contrary, nowadays we have so many successful entrepreneurs. They're actually saying if you actually want to get creative, get people who are lazy around you. Because guess what? If you put a log of wood and you say, hey, go broke that firewood.
Yeah, like
somebody who is not thinking will just use their strength and bang. But somebody who uses their brain, they'll be thinking like, I don't really want to do that. How can I come up with something, an idea that is going to make sure, a machine. And that's how things are created.
Innovation.
So while in our community, we always feel that, oh, this guy, no. The lazy ones are always the ones that are using their brain the more. Now, I'm not talking about all lazy people.
No, exactly.
Lazy to
yeah.
So now, this was you young, interested in this tech thing and these computers and all of this. What was the relationship between you and your friend? I know you talked a little bit about you opening people emails. Those were maybe people in school, but I want to talk about those like your men them. How were they looking at you? This guy who was always...
Yeah, so I'll give you something I call an identity box. I'm working on it and I plan to make money on it someday. So there's this 4 quadrant. If you take a box and you divide it into 4, this is kind of why I wanted to come talk to you, is this concept of identity. I have always been misunderstood everywhere I've been, but I've always been comfortable where I am.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to explain. Yeah. You know, I always say in the business, there are 4 boxes. Every business, everybody in the world can fit into 2. Once you know your 2 boxes, you will be comfortable. People will say you're crazy. So there's an entrepreneur, there's a businesswoman, businessman, there's an investor, there's the contributor to the business. You can call them employee, you can call them contractors, you can call them partners.
Yeah.
I have always seen myself in that entrepreneur box. And if you're a very good entrepreneur, you'll naturally become an investor because both of them needs identifiers. I don't want, we have just a short time here. But so being an entrepreneur is like, you're a disruptor. You are the person, I was the person that my mother will say I'm smart, my father will say I'm smart, but my friends will say eat the strong head. Because if everybody is going this way, I want to go this way. These are traits that we see in young people who try to kill. We don't know how to hone. That's what I'm doing in Africa. Is that concept of, do you know who you are? Because once you know who you are, the world cannot define you. I instill that with my kids in CAASITECH a lot. So this question you asked, I just want to summarize it like that, because I cannot give you a friend that cheated, but yes, I am completely misunderstood and I'm very comfortable because I'm one of, I feel, the lucky people, and a lot of people know these traits about themselves. Maybe they cannot put it in this box, these quadrants that I've put it in. It's not like I'm more important than you. Everybody in that quadrant is 25%. That's 100. But every human being in the world is important in their role. once you find your role, it really doesn't matter what somebody feels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about CAASITECH.
Oh yes, that's the dream. That's the ethos for my. I think that's the vehicle that I'm using to drive. I think my God-given purpose. CAASITECH as a concept. I have worked, came to Texas A&M down in College Station right here in Texas, and got a computer engineering degree in early. I've been working in tech for 15 years, but mostly in oil and gas. And then, so I always knew everywhere. I had this opportunity where most people come to the US, but for you to leave the US and your company to send you as an expert, it's not an easy thing. I've had that like 9 times. So I've done 13 countries. And in those 13 countries, almost 8 of them are African, well, 6, sorry. Mauritania, Senegal, Ghana, Nigeria, Angola, South Africa, right? Where American companies put me on a plane to go do service there. Then you also have like Singapore, Thailand, been in Germany for work that I was sent with entity data. We did a little bit from home, even though I was remote, but I did it like I remember visit my friends in Belgium. Anyway, because of my skill and my passion for tech, I've had this opportunity to travel international. Canada also, I forgot that. So these countries I was exposed. So I always thought there have to be other Africans like me that can do this better. Because every time I walk into those rooms, I don't see my people, right? But before they put me on a plane, I competed with whites, Asians, Indians. So it means if other African kids could get the opportunity that I got from Bokwango to Houston, that's the concept of CAASITECH. But that's not how I was thinking initially. When I went to Cameroon, I was a cloud expert in 2012. Cloud, AWS was the thing at the time. There was no tech boom that you see now. Everybody is taking 6 months and now they're expert. No. Back then, it was just something that we were learning at a very corporate level. I was a senior consultant, so I was like a manager in some of these companies. So when I went to Cameroon, I wanted to automate the way we would do ID cards, the way we would generate birth certificate. I wanted to start, I thought Cameroon was like diplomatic. I was naive, don't worry. So I wanted to start in the council in Boya. But I instead had an opportunity in the port of Douala. Because when I give the resume, you understand why they will open the doors. But the first day I walked into that room, there were all these Filipino. The pa is an accountant. He's dead now from Douala. One of the ones that was doing this CPA accountant is the one who gave me that contract. He said, don't think that we hire these people. There are no Cameroonians that can do this. When you're in that 2018, I'm in Lokpom, Douala, I'm seeing all this gap in people. Remember, I just come from the US with thousands of dollars. So I realized very early on that money was not the problem in Africa. And for anybody watching us now in this conversation, I want to just pass a small advice. Africa does not need money. The key ingredient to business is people, getting the right people. But how do you get the right people? I started getting resume. You see somebody AAPA, they cannot write code. The one that want to do this in all the functions in tech. With this exposure I had to think of something. So I created a methodology that I call the modern workforce methodology. It's part of what I just talked about, the identity. It's more like, I will try to transform the way you think. That's the first thing you do in Africa. You have to be impact-driven, not money-driven. We transform the way you think. And then once you realize who you are, we show you this buffet of tech option or what I'm doing. You don't have to do in CAASITECH. You go choose the one that is yours. That was the concept of the modern workforce methodology. It's still on our website. And I started that as a trial, everything. I don't have classes in CAASITECH, we have labs. That's why you see in CAASITECH, we don't have students, we have learners. We don't have classes, we have labs, because that came from me thinking that way. And let's just say 5 years later, I'm here now to try to give it to people for free. But CAASITECH is what? CAASITECH is taking young Africans, transforming them into tech gurus, and we have gone through building the talent, creating value, and now we're in the good phase. Good phase means we have to do marketing, we have to talk to this kind of conversation that people can hear and actually go test our products. But we've been building for 6 years, and we have a lot of assets now. We'll talk about that later.
What is your driving force?
Service. Service is so simple. It's service. I think I'm a dreamer. I think it's like a curse or a gift. It's a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
It's a gift and a curse, because the number of things I lose, and I know I'm losing them, the relationships that I've killed, the people that are in my life that loves me so much. You know, I have a mother that doesn't talk to her son. Of course, every 2 months I'm on a plane somewhere. CAASITECH is in Qatar, it's in Nigeria, it's in Cameroon. We are going to Ghana, Ivory Coast. So these are opportunities because Africa is everything we are doing. CAASITECH, 80% of our products and our programs, we are the first to do it. So look at a continent like that, the most promising continent. But when you think you want to serve people with this gift, especially if you think God has blessed you, you're going to act crazy like this. So that's the drive, boys, just service. It's what my father told me as a kid. It's what I'm reading in the diaries that he passed on to me when he died. That's all. That's what keeps driving me. And now these days is the 31 people that work for me so it's all that, always that service. It keeps driving you. It could take you to the deepest places.
Bro.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, I've never done this.
No,
so.
trust me,
I've not spoken for years.
It's amazing, and that's one other thing I want to applaud you for wanting to do this. I know how much I try to convince you to sit and have this interview. It's because it's important.
Thank you.
Trust me, we are in that phase where our kids, the people who look up to, they want to start seeing persons like you and me. We have this conversation, and then they hear pidgin inside. They hear you talk about Moyoka, they hear you talk about Iron Horse, and things like that. And then they'll be like, oh,
exactly.
Nah, I can do it.
Exactly.
You understand? If we just continue to stay at the back and we allow people posting things only in English, and it's going to look like it's so.
Okay.
So for me, that is one of the most important things. Having you sit here and have these conversations, because this is us documenting something that I really would encourage every parent that is going to watch, every young woman, every young man that is going to watch. Don't only watch this for yourself. We're using clean language. We're always going to use clean language because what we do is clean.
Thank you.
You understand? Don't watch it for yourself. Make sure your kids watch this. They are going to start dreaming differently after they follow this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Boss.
Thank you. Yeah.
One thing I've noticed about you is, I said it earlier, I'm going to repeat it. You don't just think Moyoka Pekin. You don't just think Boya Pekin. You don't just think that Anglophone. You don't just think Cameroonian. You think Africa, and even when you think Africa, you're thinking about how we are going to impact the world.
Thank you.
Why?
And that vehicle is CAASITECH for me for now,
Yeah.
right? It's the vision of CAASITECH is what? We want to make African technology. Let me put it in a different way. I hate to speak vision. It's like I'm a corporate guy. Let me break it down to people. By asking questions. Look on your phone. The average African has 12 apps on their phone. The average American has 46. If you go to the 12 apps that the average African have, which of them is from Africa? If it's Cameroon, maybe they have 1 or 2, good, but it's very few. Even if it's from Africa, it's not global, right? It's only localized to Cameroon. There's no Cameroon app that Nigerians are using. And there's very few Nigerian apps that Cameroonians are using, but there's none that somebody in Australia is using. So for since technology, the #1 driving force of change in the world, it has been now since Bill Gates came up in 1979. Technology has been driving change. Africa is still there. We have conferences, we talk. The people, everybody is like, I call it in French, vendeur d'illusion. Nothing you don't have an app that an Australian can use. Everything we do in Africa is consumed. So it's that crazy way of thinking. You know, if you want to serve people, think impact. You don't go to Africa to make money. Trust me, you can make a lot of money. But if you go with this Pan-Africanist drive to go impact Africa, doors that will open to you, it's only God that shows them. Humans cannot do that. And that's what CAASITECH is that crazy dream that we are going to build a technology that scale across the world. I want somebody in Brazil, I want somebody in Mongolia, in Haiti, in Australia to go on their phone and download an app. Because do you know why? The shame that the African have today, they don't know how to explain. If an African walk into a room today, anywhere in the world, and they were discussing technology, they would think of him less or her less, the last.
Yeah.
If we can build from the continent and they download in Australia, even when I'm dead, or if I can influence the person that does that young girl, that young boy that walks into a room in Thailand, and they were talking technology, they'll say, what do you think?
Yeah.
And I've done my job. I'm good. That's what I'm fighting for, because that doesn't exist. there's no respect for African in the tech space. How can the number one thing that is driving change in the world, and we're slave into it, right? We're pushing from behind. But how did Aben beat all the white Asians and Indians with all these 13 countries? It wasn't, white people don't promote you over their people. If you don't, it means if I have the skill, I have this crazy dream that there must be way better people down there in the continent. And that's what I've been doing. If you go to CAASITECH Academy about us, you'll see I have trained I've trained young people. You know, I pay people to train them. We'll talk about that. In 9 countries. I started in Ghana. My uncle used to encourage me, say, tell them about tech, I'll make a class. So I've always believed that. And today I feel like we have a platform. This CAASITECH thing, I had a dream, but God has made it way bigger. It's bigger than me now. I mean, that's why I'm in the US.
Tell us about the academy.
The academy is that, you remember when I said I conceptualized a framework of training to transform young people? It's a place where because if you're going to say African technology, you cannot build what we call CRM, because that's what you see a lot in Africa. If when I came to Cameroon, CRTV will put an expert in this, expert in this. So the academy is building producers of technology. This is not an easy task, right? We don't have 2 hours. I'll find the best way to summarize. You cannot, you cannot just take a young man and you give them a degree and say they're computer science. You can't teach somebody in ICT university and say they're data science. No, it's what they do. It's the way they think. It's them talking at the machine level, not at the application level. People learning Java. Java is like you speak country talk, I speak English. The computer does not understand all those languages. The computer understands one language. We call it machine language, zeros and one, binary. My kids, they start at the binary. They speak machine language. They don't speak Java, Python. Do you know how you get somebody to that? You start giving them, I have 12 pillars. I'll give you the first 6. Again, there's no time. I'm serious. I could talk. I've never done this. I could talk for 4 hours. Let me just say the first 6. The first thing in CAASITECH Academy is attitude. You could have the best skill in the world. If your attitude is not right, nobody will hire you. Attitude. The second one is loyalty. You must be loyal to the cause. It's Ubuntu. You have to be part of a community. Don't come to CAASITECH. We are trying to build something where we have not even, we are still in level 0. You are not taking us. No, you have to be loyal to the, not to me, loyal to the cause. It's like a court. So it's attitude, loyalty, communication, creativity, critical thinking. Now with the AI space, this is so important. I'm pushing this. I used to push collaboration. The last one is collaboration. I've just given you 6. You know, there are other things there, right? But all the other things goes into the seat of the soul, the essence, the transference. In CAASITECH, we want you to know who you are. We give you, we form you wholly. You are not here to learn tech. You're here to be a resistant, resilient expert in the world. Where if you go somewhere, somebody say, look at that nigga. You don't get emotional like we do in Chicago and shoot, and you keep doing your job because you know the goal. You're a mercenary, right? So we go into your childhood. So that's why I don't want to talk about that, because there are therapists out there that know better than me here, and CAASITECH is not a therapist, but we do a lot of transference. There are people that we know, they bring out their traumas through our program, but that's what we're doing. All my people that have come through CAASITECH, they know this. So from the academy, it's our door. You pass through the academy, and when you show a little bit of promise, you start building products. You start doing value creation. And it takes an average African 2.5 years to even get to that level. I have the data now. If you asked me this 3 years ago, I would not have been
now, the next thing I wanted to ask you is, I know you've worked with so many people already. How is it? And how do you finally, because you said you have about 30, 31, 35 persons you are actually keeping right now. But I know, especially doing my own small research, that you've had more than 300 people in the past.
Thank you.
How does it work for you, and how do you finally decide these are the ones I want to keep?
So the first thing is that when we say the academy, people think it's a school. I mean, I even remember Madame Aben, my director, she's like the CEO. Say I'm a founder. I remember that box. I'm an entrepreneur. She's a businesswoman. She even went and got us something with the Ministry of Education. I said, you are going to make people think this is a school. 90% of the people that have left CAASITECH, if you ask them what CAASITECH was for them, they'll say it was a school, because that's the Cameroon mindset. That's why they left. They did not get the transformation. So how do I work with them? We bring you in 3 months, maybe on a training, we call it PET, pre-employment training. In those 3 months, I'm observing you. If you show any promise, in those 3 months, we try to introduce you to growth mindset, learning mindset, your values. What should be your values? There were some people that came from Nigeria. I remember them saying that, we came here to learn tech. What is this? There you go. I just laughed. They know, because that's the problem, right? The African is always a consumer. Take microwave mentality. They don't build for sustainability. I build for sustainability, regardless of the cost. So in those 3 months, I'm observing, if you show any promise, my brother, I start paying you to train you. I'm the only company that I have seen. Forget Africa. I've been almost 30 countries. We just came from Singapore, right, for another training. I'm the only company that pay young people in Cameroon to train them. I don't even want to go to how the ingratitude that comes from that. So you see that promise in those 3 months. Madame Yvette, some now it's 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I'll say, okay, give him this. We start you with transport, 30,000. Within 3 months, you're at 80,000. You know the Cameroon currency. Yeah. Remember, I am paying people 150,000 to train them. People that I am forming them. As you get better, I reward you. So if you leave from, we always say what is level 000 in CAASITECH. As you leave from 0.1 to 0.2, I give you more money as an encouragement. I just told you about my formation. We had a story I told Mr. Angwa. I worked 9 years with Mr. Angwa. I never got the salary. That's the concept, but we'll get into that. But even though we are training these people, this process has stood since 2019 to now. But next year is going to change, and I'll tell you why. We are still going to pay, but in inception process, you're going to pay for a training, and then if you go through 3 months of that training, so those 3 months I was doing for free, I want you to have a stake in the game, because parents have been abusing it. Yeah. We have people we call in CAASITECH packers. Every young man, Aben, I have this, my cousin in Kumba, he wants to, I say, bring her, bring him. They come, once I get them from level 1 to level 0.2, they think they have made it. Remember, they are still like 9.8 steps to go. They fall bush, which is okay. I got there because I fall bush. So we don't impede. If the goal is to really impact and your intentions are pure, you cannot hold people back. You're not God. So one of the things that you see in the CAASITECH Academy is we get that inception, we start paying you until, so the oldest person there is like 3 years old, 3.5 years. And all those 31 people, they get salaries bi-weekly. We've never missed a day. And but 300 people have come through CAASITECH. I'll explain the difference. These 300 people came for programs that were 3 months. Girls in Tech is free. Marianne Coke Challenge. So they come. Some, they spend 1 year, they go. But everybody in CAASITECH, we groom ourselves. We don't hire. When you come with your resume, everybody, even my kids always start laughing because they already know what you're going to go through. Yes, but I'll stop there because those are some of the, it's now, like I said, it's a court.
Now, I wanted to ask you this question. You talked about your mom and the role they played in your life.
Yeah.
That was so many, your parents, sorry, that was so many years ago. This is 2025, and irrespective of the drive you have to train young people, empower them, and push them out there to go develop, to go build the world, I still feel like their parents, their family members, their brothers, their sisters, they have a very important role to play for you. What do you think is that role?
Can I say something? I don't want it to be negative. It's not a dying mind.
Go ahead.
The biggest obstacle in my time in Africa, I'm not just saying Cameroon, is the mother. I just told you, I would take a young man, a young woman that doesn't know something, and I'll start paying them. And as soon as they go home and tell their mother that they give me 30,000, they give me 60,000, that woman starts saying, but what is he getting? It's not possible for an African to fathom that you can do that. I know that this person is 3 years. I have benefited from that, from Texas A&M to all the people that have helped me in my life. And they keep helping me. Sister Nene in Limbe, I'm still getting these angels that come in and just when I'm broke. Once you start doing that in a place where the African is used to what they call artificial scarcity, learn helplessness, and the detachment from Ubuntu, they bring all that demonic and the mother. And if you want to know that this is not me accusing mothers, just think about it this way. If every child in Cameroon had a mother that told them, You have to be strong. You have to be a fighter. Do you think all these governments will still be in place? No, the faiblesse, the weakness of the African community starts from the home. And when you come with a program that your intentions are this pure, and that is why I don't waste time. As soon as I see you, you're out, right? Because you're going to corrupt the rest of the people. And my own sacrifices, let's talk about that some other time, right?
Yeah.
No, this is all we have gotten. The biggest obstacle to helping young people in CAASITECH has been the parents. That is the truth. And it's this type of things that they were detached from Ubuntu, fed foreign religion. I don't even know what that happened in that generation, but I correct that a lot. We've created a dome in CAASITECH. And anytime I see the influence too strong, I let you go. Because you cannot fight somebody that brought a child to the world. All of us are vessels of God. But that parent, God knows why that child came through that mother. So if they are not doing their job, and Malcolm X said it, you know, I share in Pan-Africanism, if you want to know whether people can free themselves, look at the women, right? Women build nation. They are the most powerful. So you talk about support. See, my parents, I got lucky. That's why I'm here. I was protected when I was different. It's not every family, and I see a lot in other people. I don't want to be too negative, but 20% of the time is good, but 80% in Africa is coming from this crap in the barrel effect, where there's not enough money. There's no, let's talk about scamming. There's no opportunity for young people. So everybody goes into this care diabolique, right? And that's how I call it. But yeah, so you talk about support, yeah. The best environment to pick the best people to help them is coming from a home that there was a vision from the parents. And it's very rare. Most women are traumatized. You know, the system, coming from a village system where they don't have a voice, and they put all that frustration in the kid. And when they come in CAASITECH, I told you there were 6 things I could not talk about. You do the tests, and you start see how it gets revealed, those traumas. We call it transference, right? But I'll stop there.
Guys, this is wonderful. I forgot about you, people who are watching. Go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and share. Like I was saying the other time, these are videos we need to share with family and friends. You need to share as far as possible. I'll give you the right to download the video if you feel like that's good. If you cannot download, you want us to send you a copy, we can do that. But we want you to share this video as far as possible, because this is how we empower our community. This is how, and we are not empowering our community because we are looking to go fight some other community. No. We want to empower our community. We are expecting the other communities to empowering themselves. So we meet in the middle, and it creates that level platform for everyone in the world. My brother has said it here. It is that time where you walk into a room as someone from our community, and they look at you as somebody with value. Not that you walk into a room and then they're having a conversation and then everybody's like, they cannot bring anything to the table. No. This is 2025. He has done it for the past how many years? He's empowering people to do it. By the way, we had a wonderful conversation yesterday. This guy pulled his phone. The type of things I saw in that phone, I went home, I could not even sleep because I was just waiting for morning to come.
Thank you.
Tell us about some of the products you're working on with CAASITECH.
I think the one that, because you know, you were asking me a question, I said there were 6, and you're like, we have 1 hour, I don't want to, so let me just talk about why I came here, right? You asked me to have an opportunity to pitch something I've done. It's called TechStart. You see this journey I've just talked about, fighting with, and we've not even talked about government, there are levels, trying to transform young people. We have systemized it now, and we are calling it TechStart. So this is my belief. No matter who you are, handicapped, a kid above the age of 18, anybody can do tech. The way tech has been explained. So if you see the story I've been trying to fight in CAASITECH, I want to now give it to people to do it on their own. We are in a place where our parents had to do things that they did not like to put food on the table. This generation don't have that choice. They don't need to do that anymore. But I see them doing it. It's like when you look at the African immigrant, and that's why this text starts with the African immigrant. The only part where any other ways can do it is what I call the on-demand assessment, where we just ask you questions and it reveals your identity. But the whole program where you go to the boot camp for 3 weeks and then we put you into a real training for 3 months is specific for African immigrants. And I'll explain why. Again, I talked about artificial scarcity. I talked about learned helplessness. These things are happening. The young African kid that is in a high school in Minnesota the Ivorian, the Ghanaian, the Cameroonian, the Nigerian, they have to go back to parents that are eating fufu, still based on their culture, and they need to adopt to the mind, and they are still not respected in the tech space. Of course, you will see this smile that people give, but you know what I'm talking about. And so I want to kill that because I've been through it. I was 15 years in this country before I went to Cameroon, which that's another thing, the transformation. So this program Techstart is what? It's like, find out who you are and I'll tell you which tech career fits into you. Like, let a career fit into your personality. Don't fit into, like, you know the number of people who are doing Scrum Master today because they want to pay bills. It's not bad, by the way. They have to pay their mortgages. You know the number of people who say they are cloud. They go to some school in Maryland 6 months, now they are cloud experts.
Men who are doing nursing, men who are doing nursing when research shows that it's not a man.
Thank you. How many people are doing nursing when a man, the research from UPenn says that male nurses, there are certain characteristics that doesn't fit. But you've seen, if you go so many, you get, it's not an indictment on them.
Yeah.
As long as they can pay their, we are building a community. This is Ubuntu. We support each other.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, my message to you today is to say, you no longer need to have that choice. Even the person that's in there should come to this program. We have a track for the adults. We have a track for the youth. So it's simply a program that I've built that is coming from the modern workforce methodology. It is systemized to help you discover what role you play in tech. The richest people in tech don't write code. But every African thing, master that tech, I have to go and write code. The people that make the most money has never written code. I've not written a code since I won a competition in C++ in San Francisco in 2008. I've not. But you know what I know in tech? I mean, maybe it's not good enough, but I'm very comfortable with it. And that's another thing. Don't compare with others. You have to be fulfilled. This is what I preach in CAASITECH. If you are not fulfilled, everybody else will look better than you. Or your gap, you will try to impose yourself to others. No, you have to be internally fulfilled. And this is all I've brought to the US, online. You know what I say about online and on-site. In Africa, we're doing on-site. Here in the US, since I have, I think, this whole summer, June, July, we are doing a lot of, so I'm here to pitch Techstart. But just to give a summary of CAASITECH's portfolio, I said I came here with an arsenal. We started our foundation phase from 2019 to 2021. And then we started creating value. That is building applications, apps. Right now we have 6 apps. So we'll talk about that in some other case. But these are apps in different kind of solution. And all of them are pioneer. We are the first to do waste management. We are the first to do safety. We wanted to prevent girls being raped, women being domestic violence. We built technology for that. We have built technology where you can get a technician to your door. And in Cameroon, if you tell a technician to come at 3 o'clock, they come at 7 p.m. It's just normal. And even when they come, their delivery of service, no, we are transforming that. We have taken this concept of Clando. You see people stand by the road, entering cars they don't know, just because they want to go to Yaoundé, Douala. We've put it on an app where safety is there, so come voyage. So everything we are doing, we are pioneering. Every space is that entrepreneur, that disruptor mindset. And we have applications also in Qatar, where you are traveling in Qatar in the Middle East. You put your phone and you take a picture. It will tell you the history of that place, the architecture, why it was, how it connects to Islamism. In Nigeria, we're doing NigerMed. Because in Lekki, when I take that's another thing about CAASITECH Academy. When you do well in Cameroon, I ship you abroad, whether it's Qatar or Nigeria. My Cameroonian people that are in Nigeria, they could not find doctors. So we built an app for that, right? Where it's kind of like this telehealth. So, and Zena and all these apps, but go to CAASITECH.co, you see a portfolio, and you will see why again, in the value stage, I did not want to do promotion. Now I'm the goods phase. So we'll have a chance to talk about each of these apps.
Techstart, how you said you're going to be here the whole summer. How is it going to work?
It's online. So we are targeting African immigrants from Nigeria, Kenya, Cameroon, Ghana. From 11 a.m. Eastern to 1 o'clock, we take the kids Tuesdays to Thursday because summer people want to enjoy their summer. So you don't want to touch their weekend, you don't want to touch their Monday. So it's very convenient. And we record this session on for the adults. It's from 4 p.m. to 6, right? What are we doing there? We show you all facets of yourself, and then we start showing you how the tech industry is. The different clusters, whether it's Web3 with the blockchain, whether it's tech business, so tech strategy, where from a digital marketer to a tech consultant. AI, everybody follow this trend. That's another thing. That's a scam, right? People follow trends not knowing who they are, but because they think it's cool to tell their parents, I want to be an AI, I want to do robotics. This young man is saying this, the father is clapping. Remember, it's Africa. There's no expert. Where is Africa in the AI space? It's not that you cannot do it. It's like, is it the best fit for you? There's a difference. So you could do it, but let's do some kind of diagnosis, like a doctor. So all of that, we introduce and explain the different field. Like I've just said, the person that writes an email in a tech company makes more money than the person that writes code. That person that writes email, you can go look it up. They call them OCM, they call them internal communication expert. The guy that is writing code is probably in India making 60 or 80 a year. That person is at 140. But who tells Africans this? All of us just want to go into those, like, it's like, again, you go to the buffet and eat what they will throw in the trash. That's what is happening with Africa, with tech. We are just jumping into these things that are so unfulfilled. Somebody starts after 3 years, no, they don't fire me. No, they did not fire you. It's not your thing. It's not your thing. You did it because you saw your friend that this come and bought a car and put online. Now those motivations are destroying our community. It keeps us in that consumer mindset. TechStart is part of my crusade, my service mindset to try to reduce that. And I think even if it's just 2 people, we'll do a phenomenal job. And with those 2 people, I think it will go viral.
How is it go? For how long is it going to
3
go?
weeks. 3 weeks. For 3 weeks. So June, 3 weeks in June, 3 weeks in July, and then we'll launch it in Nigeria and Cameroon and Ghana in the months of August. And those ones will be 2 weeks because they are coming on site and it's intensive, right? But the one online is 3 weeks. It's 2 hours a day for a young man, 2 hours a day for an adult. And we just basically, we do a lot of diagnosis of who you are, and then we explain the different sectors of tech. And then by the end of the program, you see a report that guides you on how you can get here. We even do sustainability index. You know, all these details are on CAASITECH Academy, right? So we go really deep, and all of this is not coming from something we copied and paste. It's literally the results of my activities from 2019 to 2025. We've just put it online. But if you go to CAASITECH, you are going to go through this in a very different way, right? You're going to see why we are bringing it to people like this.
Any requirements for any person to be part of this TechStart program?
No. I mean, my mother was making joke the other day, except you're an old person above 60. I think that's the only requirement because you don't really want that person to start, right? I'll give you a small example. Any young man that is in middle school or high school in the US, the first career they should get is tech support. Do you think that's popular? No. They will dismiss you. They want to tell their parents AI. No. You see, that's what India did in 1991 to 1997. They built an ecosystem of tech support and became the BPO center of the world. Today, if you are the person that knows how to fix every car, the day you are a driver, do you see how you can dominate? Every single company in the world is an Indian CEO. That came from government policy. People worked on that. Dr. Rabi Mahapacha, my head of department in Texas A&M, took me to India to see how they architected this whole thing. So, but if you take a young man now and say, start with tech support, you say you want to do AI, fine. You want to be robot, yes. Be the person that can know how the mouse works, know how all these devices connect to the motherboard. Explain to us the motherboard. Go into this detail. Be a mechanic. Go to the garage. The day somebody brings a BMW, you will explain their whole system. You will enter there and be a producer of technology. No, they are they want to be consumers, they want to learn code. We call it application layer. And this is the continent. Show me one African application that you use. So when people are taking you to conferences and they are making noise in Johannesburg, show. That's what we say in CAASITECH. Don't talk. Don't bring a piece of paper with a degree. Everybody have data science. Cameroon sent 400 Flutter engineers. Show me one app in Cameroon that was built by Flutter. But they were in Kenya, putting it on CLTV. This is the type of things. Nigerians learn tech just to Japa, just to do global, just so that they can get a job in Ireland. They don't do it to solve the problem. Every single app in Nigeria is fintech. It's the money. Who is going to change that? Who is going to change that? We think I can keep... I'm not going to talk. You're going to see the work. You are the first person I'm talking to after 6 years. So you could know that my motivation is not to do this. My motivation is to put value. We have created value. Now we are in the growth phase. So that is what this tech studies is. This passion to bring more Africans to be better than us, to be the problem that when my grandmother or when I'm a grandpa, they would have solved, it would be an African, because they will know how to solve that problem. You think Elon Musk was in Cameroon and he built Tesla, you'll be using it? Why is that? No. We consume so fast. I don't know whether it's colonialism, imperialism, or what. But if we keep building talent, if we can empower the woman. CAASITECH is the only company in Cameroon, the only tech company that 60% of its staff is female. Don't go and bring me a 3-people company and show me 2 girls and 1 boy. No, I'm talking about 41 employees. How did we do that? It's not magic. How did we do that? How did we empower all these young girls? And every girl you see in Cameroon, 9 out of 10 come from a traumatic background. Either was raped by an uncle or this and this, all these type of things. Don't get me into that. But when they come, you see that it scares me. Then I always have to remember my purpose. You're not God. You're also struggling with my own issues. You are just somebody that God is using to empower these kids. Do your job and shut up. And once I think like that, I'm very effective.
You brought up something, and then I saw something on your finger that's glittering.
Yeah.
Married?
Married, yes.
Now, I've always had this concern because I don't want to qualify myself as an entrepreneur. I cannot be in that same box with you. But I know I'm gravitating towards that. And I know how busy I get sometimes. I know how scarce I get sometimes. I know how they will be so worried, like, how does it work for you? I see you're busy traveling around.
This man have said me, my wife is going to kill me. Okay, I'm going to find a way to make this work. What I'm going to say, you not expect. You're an entrepreneur, and I told you that you have those, because that's what I do. I assess people based on that identity factors. I don't like to advise people in entrepreneur. I always like to tell my story, and this is my story. If I ever wanted to talk to a young man that wants to be an entrepreneur, I'll say, do not tell somebody's daughter you love them. You're about to destroy them. Because do you know the thing about entrepreneur that is different from a business? A businessman can marry. You go to sleep, you're thinking about the business. You get up, you're thinking about the business. No girl, no woman can survive this. Because at the very fundamental of a relationship is putting in other people's interests first. But if your loyalty is to CAASITECH, I have my wife, I think that we have, I mean, she's God to me, literally. I don't even know how she does it. Every day I get up, I know I don't deserve her. Every day I know, my God, Aben, be careful, somebody's daughter. I have 3 sisters and a mother. I have a mother that can't even talk to me. I don't have a relationship with my sister. I can't even keep a relationship with my friends. What about my wife? All this travel, what does she do with 2 boys? Don't do this. Let's go back to it. Entrepreneurship, can you have a relationship? Yes. Maybe when you're in the good phase. Like now, I think for the first time in 2 years, I took my wife to Las Vegas last week. Do you know how much money I have? This girl should be in Birkin bags. I sit with people. My mother barely has a house. I can
you know why I brought this up?
You're setting me up.
You know why I brought this up? Because trust me, sometimes, like you said, we don't even appreciate this. Like, she is actually the one that is making the most sacrifice.
For this.
Because at the end of the day, wherever your sacrifice ends, she's adding layers on top, and that is what she's doing. Telling you, hey, babe, go out there and do you. Hey, babe, go out there. Hey, babe,
is she supposed to do that?
At the end of the day,
is that not unfair? Like, think about it. So this person, and that's why I'll do anything. Right now, I'll tell you, my creme de la crop in my head, the app that I wanted to build, I've told myself I may need to pause it till my wife has gotten what she wants in life. And at the age of 50, I'll go develop it. Let me just give you the app. I don't care if somebody wants to build it. It's called Origin by CAASITECH.
Don't develop it. Let's end it.
Thank you.
Yeah. but trust me, I just wanted to say to women, our wives, our sisters, our mothers, like my brother said earlier, he actually did not develop that part of the conversation, but I just wanted to remind you guys, you are the foundation. I will
you.
say this in, I said it the other time, and someone was like, oh, I never thought about it like that. There's a reason why in the Garden of Eden, I don't even know if that story is true or whatever, but let's just say.
Please say it.
Yeah, there's a reason why in the Garden of Eden, the devil did not go to the man. Satan went to the woman.
Wow.
Because Satan understood the woman was the foundation of everything that man is doing. If that man is supposed to get up in the morning and go hunting, if you destroy the woman will be able to stop that man from. So that is who you people are. That is who you people are. Always remember, you have everything. If he becomes whatever he becomes tomorrow, it's because of you. And we, the entrepreneurs and the other persons, we know when he talks, we don't only look at him, we look at the person behind him or the person next to him.
Thank you.
So when you make those sacrifices, don't relent, continue to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not just blessing the man, you're blessing a community, you're blessing the world, and your kids are always going to enjoy that blessing. I remember the other time I was somewhere and I was young. I was really young in Kumba, and I went somewhere. You know this place where we would go chop for corner.
Yes.
I just showed them for that. See me, they give me rice and beans and this and that. I want to see the woman don't can give my rice and beans. I chop no meat, no nothing. I want to see the woman can. You know how they do? I need all the kind of meat.
You can add meat. Yes. I said, no, the Bible get pop for beans.
Yeah. I said no. I don't ask meat. It just come on going. The chop. I want to see can add fish. I said, you don't add meat. I not talk nothing. You don't add fish. I don't get me money for pay. I want to see that the first one was one other person, the meat, and then the fish was one other person, and then the person just say Sako, not Sako. I say yes. You don't big eh? Where? I wish your papa be there for see you. Your papa be there that kind man when he come for Kati, so all man go drink, all man go chop. Everybody go make sure see if some man get problem, if he survive, go make sure see solve him and things like that. So you see how if this person if he offer me meat. And this other person, even if he say they don't give me meat, he say me they add fish. If that person is a there for some kind of level for life,
where will
benefit
you be?
from? Yeah. So whatever thing we're doing, let's just continue to do. By the way, for we now already habit. Boss.
Let's talk about support.
Yeah.
I want to add on that support. Because I want to shout out some people, but give you a little bit of reality. In my experience, your biggest, you can. I don't know if it's an African thing, but I think it's a global thing. We don't support people we know, right? But I have a core group of friends. You've seen Kenneth. I have McHenry, my mother, my sisters, my brother. You know, Sister Nene. I'm thinking my wife. I've shot the bedwork. If I'm here, it's because I'm sitting on a community. And let's talk about this next time because Africa. When we start with community and move solo. White people, they start solo and move to community.
Wow.
A friend of mine, the priest, explained this to me too well. But support, for the first 6 years that I've been building programs and applications, the only place I've put is in the Bishogan forum. If you ask anybody that is on Bishogan in any group, they'll say the man they ever post. But none of them has ever supported any product. And I don't take that personally. When people know you, they feel like they support you, you're going to get better than them. But do you know what I have done without telling anybody? Every Bishogan person that has ever shown me a business that they do or their wife, I've supported it. You can ask any of them. And some don't even know. I remember I did something called drop shipping in Dallas here because they just posted it. I'm telling you, if you say my wife is doing it, I'm doing this, I support. But I feel like this is something you should address with different people in this forum. Let's try to kill this care diabolic. Let's try to kill some of these things that will bring us back to Ubuntu. That thing that was the African, we started civilization. We don't need to let these things go away.
Wow, this is wonderful. Now, I want for us to have, because I intentionally decided on this segment we're going to talk more about you, CAASITECH, and tech stuff and stuff like that.
Wow.
But then I would like for us to have another segment where we're going to talk more about community.
Really? Oh, man, then get me on that.
Yeah, community. With your mindset.
Talk about the golf doing business in Africa.
Yeah, that's why I say community. Okay. You understand? Yeah, I want us to have a completely different segment where we just talk about that business in Africa, relationship with people, and all of these things. Where can we find you if somebody wanted to reach out or to talk to Aben or to CAASITECH? Where can we find you?
Can I see the website? Because honestly, that would be the best thing, right? Yeah. I'm on Facebook. but I have very limited friends. I have almost like 300 or 400 friends. But I think I'm a founder, right? I'm not a CEO
What's
yet.
the website?
CAASITECHacademy.com. That is the entry point. Then the group where you have all our products is CAASITECH.co. People always confuse it with .com. It's .co, not there's no M. Yeah, I think if you send a message and say you want to talk to me there, whoever is within it, there's a whole team behind Blanche. I'll just give the name of the person. She's going to send me a message. But I think I can be very open. Anybody that is listening to us, they should contact you. I'll call them immediately.
Okay.
Right? I don't know how to. You see, I've not done this. This is me getting into marketing. But I think I want to be available as much as possible, especially if I'm being of service to someone. That is the truth. If you want to scam me, for example, make it about service. You probably get me.
I guess so, my friend,
Yes.
Raphael Gine.
Yes.
If they ever tell people, they say, not even worry yourself, say, NASA code to read, they come go drink, and there's a party, say no. He say, if you want to see to read, even at 2 a.m., just call to read, they say, I said, to read, I get the idea for some video. He say, it will come now, so. And that's the truth.
That's because it's your passion.
That's my passion, bro. If it's anything work-related, and it's going to be of help to the community,
you will do
I will
it.
show up.
Thank you.
Once you start calling me for Tina, and then I didn't find the value, I just be like, man, I'll just, okay, I'm call you back, and that's it. Some people be like, oh, we call your phone all the time, you don't answer, blah, blah, blah. Now, because when you call me, and I know the kind of conversation we'll get, I don't even want to waste my time. Sorry.
Boy, me and you are so alike.
Yeah.
So we have this WhatsApp phone, right?
Yeah.
Let me still do like 1 minute. Let me show you how I argue. I used to, when I was 30, I was very trying to be wake up African now. Now, if I read you, like that, I say something, and your response is like personal attack, I don't just respond.
Yeah.
But I want us to disagree because my only thing is to learn. So I used to be on our phone, especially our class from 95 group in Bishogan. I am doing this a lot. Like people don't even see, once you write, I read, and I see the tone, I just leave it there.
Yeah.
Where is that going to end?
Yeah.
Right? But you talk to people on the phone, you learn so much. You say, no, this is how it is. I did this in Africa, I'm Aben. They say, no, Aben, but you remember this. Once you read that, my brother, if you have this learning mindset that we preach, you'll go far. Yeah. You will learn every argument you're learning. So if I'm not going to learn an argument, I don't even respond.
What is the future for Africa and tech?
You said we should have a segment on this, because this is like the 3-hour answer.
Yeah.
But I'll just say if the maximum level, if the highest group, which is the US, is at level 5, Africa is at 1.5. Some people have pushed up to maybe 2, but they are using non-Africans to sell you an illusion, right? But Nigeria is one of the strongest tech country, and when we talk about community, you see why CAASITECH moved from Cameroon to Nigeria and then Ghana and Qatar. Man, I go to the airport, I'm treated like a king. I come to Cameroon, they say she's back. We'll talk about that, right? And so yeah, Africa is at 1.5 on 5, right? On rien, on parle, c'est toujours, on parle partout, rien à montrer. It's just talk. It's just talk. I've asked you, go to your phone and show me an African application. Doesn't that bother you? Wow. Why are you asking about African tech? It does not exist.
Wow.
It does not exist. I don't care who is watching this, because there are people doing work. I am doing work. I'm not talking here when I'm not in the chantier. Mais on n'a rien. So, yeah. I think long term, in 20 years, ask me that question.
Thank you guys very much. Go ahead and follow him on all social media platforms. Go ahead, we're going to put his name here. That's his website. Follow them on all social media platforms. Like I said, we have to know when it's entertainment and when it's infotainment or informational. Let me just put it that way. Let me not too complicate it. These are the kind of videos, these are the kind of segments you want to share with your family. You want to invite everyone, and on a Sunday or then Saturday or sometime when you sit as a family and you watch again and again and again and again. Myself, that is why I do all these things.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I don't just do this because I just want to sit here and asking questions. And no, I learn and learn and learn and learn. We were together yesterday. When I went back, I started doing research. We are together today. I'll go back and continue. Wow. And I'll continue to ask questions. There's not there will be more embarrassing for this world Like your picking for can't explain something for you. Mama, our daddy, I want to follow this path or this and that, and you cannot even guide them on. And that is the problem we have. We are so empty when it comes to anything tech. So even when our kids like, oh, mom, what do you think I can actually do? Our first opinion or ideas ever been a nursing, lawyer, police, gendarme, and this and that. And guess what? Like he was saying,
Watch.
yeah,
CNA.
Even all these things, they still get some small link to tech. Where it means if people even know, instead for if you go do nursing and needle, with the people they say they don't like needles, they don't like blood, but they're nursing. Whereas you can actually do nursing, but they take part.
Exactly.
And you probably making more money.
All hospitals run on something called ERPs.
You see.
All hospitals.
We'll end the conversation.
No, thank you, my brother.
Make sure you continue to comment. Make sure you continue to share. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. We'll bring you back here the other time. We'll ask you all those questions. If you get any consent, if we said anything that you feel like you want to challenge it, because we know there are smarter people out there.
Of course, I love that. Let's get in the good conversation.
Reach out to me.
Put me on video with anybody. I'll do it virtually. I want to learn. I want to learn.
Voila. Yes. So that's it, bro. What's going to be your final message?
No, my final message is say thank you for this opportunity. I'm just starting to telling my story. I don't know how to do this. I think I want to confess that you've guided me a lot. I'm a tech guy. We are always eccentric. They call us weird. So, but that is because I know my identity. I'm that entrepreneur tech. There are different types of entrepreneur. So I don't know how this journey goes, but I will tell you something to close. In 10 years, this interview will be worth a lot, right? And not because I'm a billionaire or anything. It's just because of the things that we'll have done to impact Africa. Whether I'm dead or alive, I have a group of people that I know what they will do. And this, in 10 years, they will be asking you for this video because they want to put it somewhere in the museum. I believe that. I believe that when you are impact-driven, you can see it. Every day I walk in the spirit. Every day I walk in the spirit. When I talk to people that don't understand me, I just smile. You can't get to me because this is not me. I'm just a vessel. This higher power. God has taken a young man and say, go there, go do the bambe. This is not, different people enjoy. I see my life that way, of service. My father instilled it with me. He left me his diaries when he died. Every page I read, I'm reminded of the value of service. All his prayers that he created for St. Jude tattoos in Moyoka, in Boya, in my four, they are still in those books. So I know that I'm just here to serve and go. So you will see the value of this when some young person will tell you this video is the reason they are doing this, or one of my kids will do it, or maybe us will do it. I don't know, but in 10 years, you will remember this video. That's my last thing.
Catch you guys on the next one.